Welcome to Zakinova team, Lucy. You are my wonderful and amazing mentor and great friend, Lucy Edwards. Thanks and welcome for taking your wonderful and precious time to come all the way here from Florida. I cannot begin to tell you how really grateful I am that you really reached out to me and said, Olga, you know what? Let's do it. Lucy is Director of Client Success and Matterport. I cannot wait to discuss all our amazing topics that we prepared for our audience. It will be so exciting to really present all your knowledge to our listeners.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Olga. It's a great pleasure to be here. I just actually got a new position. It's Director of Strategic Engagement at Matterport and VHT Studios. So it's very exciting. And I'm very excited to be here. I watch all your episodes. It's a great podcast, great talk show. You have amazing topics, something that everyone can benefit from, and it's valuable for your audience. So thank you for inviting me. I'm here.
Thank you. Thank you, Lucy. Lucy, I've met you many years ago, and I will never forget how we met. You were running your own company, and you were so successful, and you were so passionate about what you did. Let's talk a little bit about your humble beginnings, I should say. Where did you start? What really motivated you to do what you do? And I know that you told me little stories how you were drawing floor plans in the car, right?
Exactly.
So let's dive into your story.
Well, it has been almost 25 years, so 1 hour is not enough to tell you all my stories. But I would say that my husband Peter and I, we decided that we want to do something on our own and open our own business. And we were traveling in upstate New York, and we found this absolutely stunning Victorian. And Peter said, why don't we open our own bed and breakfast? And what we did, we had a business plan. I learned how to do floor plan. So I bought $30 software, drew the floor plan for that Victorian and how it is now and how it will be our vision. Peter took lots of photos. We took it to the zoning committee. It didn't go through. Thank God it didn't, because I cannot imagine myself in the middle of nowhere on Tanana Lake in upstate New York 12 months a year with my energy when I want to do things. However, my niece saw the floor plan and she said, oh, that's amazing. Why don't you do floor plans for us, for Sotheby's International Realty in the city? And we started doing that. We took our floor plans and Peter's photos, and we worked for free for a year.
What?
And agents paid us only when they sold the property. If you don't sell, you don't pay us for our photos, our floor plans. I learned how to do brochures. We bought a $200 printer, printed all night long. On both sides, it was inkjet. However, it just took off because no one did floor plans. And we took it to New Jersey, to Long Island, to Westchester County, and our business was booming. In a year, we were in great demand, and we could charge by far more than we're charging now, tell you the truth. And we start making really good money. But I think the foundation was always the relationship. And I know that we will talk about that. But my passion was to do something like better than anybody else. No one had anything like that outside of Manhattan, as floor plans and photos, and everything is on the brochure. And then Peter, because he was a scientist in his previous life, he created a tripod that was 50 feet tall and 10 feet in diameter with a camera on top and like a Nintendo game on the bottom. And we were doing, it was no drones did not exist. And regular airplane, if you get, it will be very expensive. So we got very famous and very in demand in the Hamptons and in South Jersey Shore. So then it grew even higher. And then eventually VHT Studios bought our company. And Matterport bought us last July, and I'm very happy. So here is a few words about my career.
Humble beginnings, right?
Very humble beginnings.
Wow. Well, Lucy, you and your husband work together, and you guys recently moved to Florida. That transition in life, do you feel like it really helped you stay more motivated? Like you have so much passion and drive into your like day to day. I have never seen you in a bad mood. Like I'm curious, what does Lucy look like in a bad mood?
Well, I try not to be.
But you're always laughing. You're always happy. You always work with your husband. You guys both very, very hardworking people. Moving to Florida, how did this change your lifestyle? What do you guys enjoy the most out of it?
Well, I don't know what happened, but I'm so happy in Florida. It doesn't bother me that it's hot. It doesn't bother me that it's humid because it can be here in New York as well. We swim every morning. We go to the ocean at 6 o'clock in the morning, every morning. If there are very high waves or you have a lot of seaweed, of course, we skip. But then we just walk. We walk on a beach. That is our time together. We talk about what we want to do when we grow up and try not to talk about work at all. And that's our time together. But there is something that I received in Florida, like I found peace with myself. And maybe it's because I'm not running my own business anymore. I am employed, though I run my business at Matterport as my own business. I really care and I put my heart into it. But there is something happened in Florida that it just made me even happier and more calm, maybe. And I'm more focused and not spread so thin. But I think it has something to do with running your business versus being focused on just one position and one job. And when I had my business, I was a designer for the brochures. I was doing floor plans. I trained photographers on doing floor plans. I was in the field. I did presentations. I was in charge of marketing. I was involved in bookkeeping. So it's just so many hats you had to wear. But Olga, it's the same with you. When you came here to the United States, when you immigrated and you started your own business, you had your own, I believe, Century 21 you had? Or?
Well, I started with Century 21 in 2003. That's when I pretty much started this career. I used to work for corporate America. I used to work for Credit Suisse First Boston with my very good friend. She actually, the one that helped me get that position. But my husband actually joined the real estate world much earlier than I did.
Really?
And I have to honestly tell you, I'm glad we're recording this on record. I was actually one of the worst wives at that time. I was so against him joining real estate world, it's not even a joke.
You were not supportive.
I was not supportive at all because I had no idea what agents do day in and day out. I really couldn't understand what kind of stupid job it is to be an agent. You just go around, show houses, and what else? I really never understood the importance of every minute of our life and time, how valuable it is to make sure that people understand from the outside how much effort takes to be successful in real estate. And I sometimes apologize to my husband and I tell him, you know what, I'm so sorry that I was such a horrible wife back then. There was back in 2001 when he started. He joined Century 21. I pretty much blended in as soon as I was let go from Credit Suisse. And I made a promise that, you know what, I always loved sales. And I made a promise if the corporate America ever lets me go, that I will definitely take that opportunity, go get my license, and begin my journey. So I'm very proud to say that since 2003 until present, I've been licensed. Right now, I'm a licensed associate broker with Douglas Elliman. But yeah, that was my story.
Well, and then you, after Century 21, didn't you have a period of time where you had your own company before you joined Douglas Elliman?
Yes. So I was a big girl, I would say. Like I felt like I was empowered. I learned very quickly within real estate world, and in order for you to be successful, you need to become listing machine. And that was always embedded in my mind. My manager actually offered me Floyd's classes. So Floyd Wickman came to town, or one of his people, and they were teaching classes. And my manager said, look, if you will join and you will make a commitment and you will get, let's say, X amount of listings in certain period of time throughout this program, I will pay for your school. And that really got me motivated because my husband, remember, was already in the business.
Right.
So I already had listings coming in. So I said, oh, definitely, I'm doing that. And so that what really drove me to start my passion and journey was learning how to always go and take classes and trainings and courses and participate and network. So my husband was working at that time for a jewelry company, and he was also very successful there. But his full-time was jewelry, and then part-time was real estate. I dived into it completely full-time, and my husband turned around and says, I want you to do it right. And I will support you in everything that I possibly can.
You see?
For you to, yes. He's a true example. So he definitely came back and he said, I want you to do it right. I want you to go take all the classes. And that was the bingo for me. Because I felt like the moment you start doing it right, not because someone is telling you, but because you surround yourself with the right crowd and you begin to do it right from the very beginning, when you get yourself trained to understand that as a new agent, listings are always the name of the game. So that's my beginnings. Yeah. And I went from Century 21. I was a big girl, I could say, that thought that could do all the listings in the world, and said, wait a second. Why should I share with my broker? I want to open up my own company. And that's how one of the attorneys in the community, he had really good operation, and we joined forces together. Unfortunately, it didn't work out so well because we didn't share the same passion, talking about passion, right? So we quickly, within a very short period of time, realized that it wasn't a good match. And I'm glad that I did realize that. And that's how I took a turn. And I said to myself, if I will close my office, where would I like to go? And I already know mentally and emotionally that it would be a big brand, that like a multi-million-dollar brand that I want to go and follow. And I'm blessed to say that I've been with Douglas Elliman since 2003, 2008 until present.
Well, brand is important. You have to align yourself with brand, and you have to have that chemistry, that understanding, and also the brand needs to support you. Correct. So the education, the coaching, being available to talk to you when you need to just sit down and maybe complain about a bad client or share your happiness about your closing. I think that is important to have that support, and a good brand will always offer you that.
Definitely. I'm definitely feeling blessed that Douglas Elliman is growing. We are growing in many different states. When I first came here, we were not in all these different states like Boston and California and Florida. And right now we are in many, many other states. We actually go where our clients go, Lucy. And that's what makes us more and more and more successful, because the company offers so much interactions for agents. We have so many events. I mean, you could participate in all of them, but if you will have no time to work. So we definitely pick and choose to where we would like to participate and be part of. But the company is definitely doing phenomenal. We are growing. We're doing amazing. From Manhattan to Montauk was the story when Daddy was part of the show. And we are continuing to grow, and it's just an honor to be part of this growing family.
Well, I just met with Scott Durkin, and he was talking about growing and the strategy. What's so fascinating about Douglas Elliman, you are in 11 states, and you are growing, and you are considering other states where your clients are, and you are going where the clients are. But what I really enjoy the most about Douglas Elliman is that you do have a plan, you have a strategy, and every agent has to have a business plan. How your managers arrange the meetings one-on-one. They demand that you sit down and prepare a business plan for yourself for a month, for a quarter, for a year, and for 5 years. And that's what I have great respect for that. And they educate you. And the training, they always invite Buffini and Company and other
Tom
speakers.
Ferry?
Yeah, Tom Ferry was more than once at your events.
Correct.
So and then you are part of Buffini and Tom Ferry, right?
Well, not at the moment, Tom Ferry, because I have way too many mentors that I follow, right? So I just simply don't have enough time in 24 hours to follow all of them and to implement everything they're teaching, because it's not about just listening. It's about learning. It's about taking notes, what resonates with you, and really implementing it to life. As a matter of fact, Lucy, I have to publicly say thank you to you for always pushing me to Olga, you got to start recording. And I'll be like, no, I don't like cameras and I don't like to do videos. And you're like, Olga, we got to do this. And I remember how you and Peter were coming to my office and doing this wonderful recording recordings, and I remember how we started our humble beginnings together, and we were motivating each other. And you really were always there for me. Although right now you moved to Florida and you are super busy and I'm super busy, but we still find the
We
time.
still find the time to talk and discuss and to brainstorm. That is important because you cannot brainstorm on your own. You have to brainstorm together because it goes
Absolutely.
both ways. But I always enjoyed videos. And actually, I started my videos with Douglas Elliman agents, with you, and then with others by being their producer, if you wish, and creating a story, how they should be on camera. Like with you, sometimes I was on camera together, but for other real estate professionals, I was not part of the video, but I would just brainstorm with them what they should do. Are they in the conference room? Are they having coffee with their client in a little coffee shop? Are they hugging someone by the office because they are part of the community? And that's, I think, that built up my desire to do my own videos. And that's why I'm doing video interviews now. And I'm very comfortable with it. I love it. I'm passionate about it.
It radiates.
And I'm just like, I want to pinch myself. Do I really sit at the same table with that talented, amazing, super smart human being,
It's definitely a joy. But I think you're hitting it right in the right spot. You and I always talk about the passion for what we do, right? And you truly do what you love. And when you love what you do, it radiates even through camera, even through videos. And you definitely enjoy every single moment. And I think what the world is missing, speaking of today's day, the world is missing love. The world is missing that discovery of that internal, pure human meaning. Why are we here? And if every person on this planet Earth will start discovering and understanding why are they put on this planet Earth, I think we will be in a much loving position right now worldwide.
Right.
I personally believe, and I work a lot on myself, discovering exactly what your passion is, discovering what you love doing. Because when you love what you do and you really start taking out every single attribute of your being into the existence of you can create, right, for this world, it will just showcase in your actions. Like, Lucy, can you only imagine if you, for example, had a position where you were privileged to work with agents one-on-one, right? And you would help them to completely transition their mindful disbelief in themselves, or I should call it limited belief, right? That I can be on camera, and yes, you can. And I can do this. Yes, you can.
Mm-hmm.
It takes time, but it takes a lot of practice. So I think what you mastered is a true passion, but I have to give a credit to your husband.
He's very patient with me for sure.
He is very patient. Your husband, Peter, I have to give you guys a credit. He's an amazing man.
He is indeed.
You guys working together for how many years?
Well, we've been married for 31, working together for almost 25.
God bless. Well, Peter is definitely a phenomenal, I should say, your navigator.
Oh, he is indeed.
He keeps you on track.
He's super, and he's super, super smart. So I'm kind of like bubbly, and I like to talk, and I can have an elevator pitch, and we become best friends forever with someone I had never seen before. Peter is quiet, but he knows his journey, and he guides me, so he is amazing.
He's very grounded.
He's very grounded, yeah.
He's very, very grounded, and he always brings you back on your rails. And I think this is a true, perfect combination of partnership. Have to give you credit. You guys worked together for so many years, and he is just your true passion and partner in everything you do. I know that you guys together love scuba diving.
Oh yeah, we really enjoy everything, and I actually introduced him to scuba diving because I've been doing scuba diving before I met him. We got married in '92, so it's our second marriage, but it's the best and the best in the world. But he became by far better diver than I am right now. I had to take my test 3 times, my PADI license 3 times. He only did once. And he helps me because he makes me feel comfortable when I'm underwater. When he is with me, I'm comfortable. And we are going to Pacific Ocean by Tahiti actually around in mid-November, and we're going to dive with sharks.
Oh boy.
Yeah, we're going to
You
dive
would pay me $1 million, I wouldn't be able to do it. But although I have to tell you, I love water. And I truly respect the fact that you made a decision during COVID, right? You moved to Florida?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I remember those days when you were in the contract to buy your condo and you were so passionate and excited.
I
and
was so excited.
And I'm sure that condo is worth more money right now.
Oh, I'm sure it is because
Because-
I was just right in time with a good interest rate and before prices flew up. So yeah, lucky
So
me.
good investment.
Yeah.
Look, I believe real estate is an amazing investment, regardless what time of the
Oh, absolutely.
economic climate we are in. I believe in real estate more than anything in the world. I believe that real estate can never be taken away from you unless you didn't pay your taxes, property taxes, or
mortgage.
or mortgage, right? But if you stay mindful and really do things right, I've seen people grow before my eyes and become multi-billionaires just acquiring real estate and holding on to it.
Mm-hmm.
You can never get rich by buying real estate and, expecting to sell it overnight. You can't just acquire so much equity overnight. But if you buy real estate and wait, right? You don't wait to buy real estate.
You don't wait, but
You don't wait to buy real estate. You buy real estate and you wait. So that's exactly where the secret of real estate world is. When people will understand that formula, that I think the whole world will start less thinking about what the rates are doing right now and where we're going to be.
Yeah.
Because you and I know it's just a matter of time until the light switch goes on and then the rates go down and everything we have on the market will fly off the shelf. And guess what happens? The prices will go up because there is limited inventory and we know that's exactly is going to turn around. But that's conversation for another time, Lucy.
But that's why you go through different trainings, you go to webinars, you talk to Buffini, you talk to your coach, so you understand how you coach your clients.
Correct.
That's why you educate yourself. So when you are sitting at the table, at the kitchen table, doing your presentation and talking about yourself, you are basically teaching them. You are making sure they understand that they're making the right decision by selling the property or by buying today. So that's the charm of education and of constantly learning. And you learn how to present it to your clients. And that's why you're so talented, because you invest in your education so much that when you do meet with clients, you know exactly what to say and you can read the personality and you understand when you can push them a bit or when you can stand back.
I'm glad you touched upon the subject of personality. One thing that I have learned throughout my career is that one thing that did not teach you in school or in any licensing course, how to deal with people's emotions and how to deal with personalities. And I think this is one of the best benefits for me personally, that I've really taken advantage of the opportunity. You touched upon Buffini and company. That this company really teaches you how to run your business by referral, how to run your business by repeat clients that keep coming back to you, and or by people that, have their friends and family come back to you. And so by utilizing this formula, I should say, right? It's a formula that you need to understand that people have their own mentality on anything they do in life. And throughout the process, we identify that selling and buying, it's such an emotional process.
Of course it is. It's one of the largest transactions that you will have in your life.
And if an agent that you're working with is not equipped to understand how to really work with people's emotions, like sometimes we could go on appointments and you could just lose it within 5 minutes because they didn't like the way you walked in, or didn't like the way that you looked a certain way, or it's different reasons why sometimes you just don't click right away. But I think my job as a professional to see and identify what's bothering them, what's causing that anxiety, why are they feeling the way they're feeling, what can we tweak? It's not really so much always about just business. It's understanding them on a deeper level, how important the current moment for them. And then how could you blend in as a professional and hold them by their hand and guide them through the process all the way to the very end. But then they become my guests in the podcast and then they share that experience, right? It's like how we went from anxiety to a successful closing. So I think that's what I'm mastering also in teaching my kids. That's
And you know what I would like to add to that? When you work with your clients, and you just mentioned sometimes you didn't walk in the right way, and it just turned them off, and they don't want to be with you. But it's the same way with you. When you do the presentation and you tell your potential seller that you need to get rid of those green walls.
Oh.
You need to get rid of that carpet. And if you do not follow what I'm recommending you as a professional real estate agent, if you don't listen to me, that means you have no respect for me or you don't trust me. If there is no trust in the transaction is not going to work. So you don't take everybody who comes your way either.
No.
You tell them what you expect. You advise them on the price. If they are very determined to sell it for a certain amount, you give them a business plan, what will take place in 3 months or whatever. And I have great respect for that you do not take anybody and everybody. If they don't trust you, then you shouldn't be working with them.
Yeah, you touched upon a very important topic. When you work by referral, it's a different conversation. So it's people that already trusted the judgment of someone who referred to you.
Mm-hmm.
And I personally also in today's day and age just don't go into random places and buy just anything random. I need recommendations. I need to understand. And that's why I call you a lot, right? Lucy, what do you think of this? And what do you think of that? Like, Lucy, do you think it's a good investment? You think I'm going in the right direction? Lucy, do you think that vendor is a good vendor? Can they deliver the services that I need for my clients? And I think this is exactly what it transpires into the results, right? When you work by referral, it's a different client.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's a cold relationship that, let's say someone is a for sale by owner or someone is an expired listing and they don't have the confidence in the brokers because they already got burned once.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't blame people. Sometimes they do burn once. But I would turn it around and say that in many, many cases, in my translation, what I see the results of why it wasn't successful, simply because it's either the broker and the seller should have never joined forces together because they weren't to be a good match to begin with. But a lot of times people follow the commission. Oh, they charge less money, let me go with them. It's not really about the quality. Once people understand the quality of service that we provide, once people understand the marketing that we provide, once people understand how brand is important behind everything else, that's when the whole magic happens. Because when you have the combination of all, and when you have your clients directed into one end result, which is having a successful sale, that's when I think the magic happens for everyone, not just the seller, not just the broker.
But just like you have your business plan for yourself, for a month, for a quarter, for a year, you have the business plan for the property.
Correct.
You explain exactly what has to be done before the property goes on the market, then what will happen in the first week, in the second week, and if something is not working, then you have plan B, plan C, plan D, and if something goes wrong, you have a great buyer, and then everything falls apart. Immediately, you have another plan in place because you already did the marketing, so it doesn't really matter. Sometimes agents say, "Oh, I'm not going to do professional photography because I already have 3 offers." Well, the property is not sold until your commission check is cleared. So you have to invest because all those 3 offers can fall apart. And then by the time you realize you have no offers, it's winter. And then you cannot, and you don't have any marketing material. So that's when the seller gets burned.
Absolutely, absolutely. I personally feel and believe that every property deserves to be showcased on the market. I believe that every seller must do their own due diligence to showcase their property to the whole entire wide world. It doesn't cost them anything. So why not take advantage of the opportunity? We don't charge sellers anything up front. It's our time, it's our efforts, it's our marketing. And especially right now, I'm so blessed. You have no idea, Lucy. That new deal that Douglas Elliman just acquired with VHT Studios, where I used to pay separately for gold photography. Now gold photography is part of our deal.
Because Douglas Elliman is investing in every agent, in every listing, and also in their brand. The brand stands for luxury. And actually, Scott Durkin repeated more than once. We are about quality, and we are about the support for our agents. So if we support our agents, they will support their clients. So working out a deal like that with gold photography is amazing. And you start doing videos like property videos, the full motion videos, before anyone else really got involved in it. Thank you, Lucy.
Yes, definitely.
And Matterport, in the beginning, you didn't really like the 3D tours because you didn't feel comfortable. Thank God I was able to convince you it's not about you, it's about the buyer. And during COVID, you realized how important it is, and you're still using it now because people are moving around the globe. It's not someone is moving from Forest Hills to Bayside. No, people are moving across the country, across the world. So I think that's the technology and the artificial intelligence technology, and Matterport falls into that category. I think it's very important.
I personally think that New York is still extremely affordable when it comes to real estate. Yes, there is certain pockets that are, less expensive and more expensive. But I think overall, if you want to live in New York City as a whole, I think New York City is definitely, in comparison to other countries, is extremely affordable. It's the epicenter of the world. And I definitely think that there will be more transactions coming back and forth between Europe, because that's when the consumer confidence is. People would like to have a piece of real estate, and people that do have money, they would like to invest it not just in one spot, but they want to invest it in many, many different parts of the world. And I think New York is one of them.
Mm-hmm.
So speaking of the marketing that you do as a company, yes, I definitely feel that, exposing the property with professional gold photos right now, God bless Douglas Elliman, creating that opportunity for us. We don't need to spend extra money. That's awesome. Second thing is the floor plans that, in some cases I'm asking you, Lucy, let's just remind you, I don't want just the floor plan. Let me make it super clear. I want interactive floor plan, which gives you the opportunity of showcasing where every room is based on the floor plan, which is an amazing feature. And then having the Matterport and having the drone photography. Brutally obsessed with drone photography. Let me just say this. I am so obsessed with drone photography. You don't even know. Like, it's something about the drone photography just gets me excited like a little kid in a toy store.
Oh, but remember how you and I, we were doing actually a video. It was an estate sale, and it was very close to the water, but you couldn't really understand and appreciate. And you were doing you did the narration for the drone video where you were talking about the neighborhood and how you can walk to the water in like 5 minutes.
Bayside.
Yeah, it was Bayside.
I remember. This is all your guidance. Olga, let's do this. Well, Lucy, I got this new property. That's where it is. What do you think we should do? And Lucy is like a magic woman, comes up with all these wild ideas. Oh, I got an idea. By the way, speaking of ideas, Lucy, let's go back a little bit into your personal part. What do you do in the mornings? How do you start your days?
First of all, I always get up early. I'm an early bird.
How early?
6, sometimes 5:45, but usually at 6 o'clock. In the summertime, at 5:45 because you can get to the beach earlier. In the wintertime, it's kind of dark, so 6 is okay. And then we go to the ocean. We go for a walk. I breathe that air. It just gives me this power, this desire to start the day. And once I start my day in my home office now, and I start talking to my clients or my friends, it just gives me so much energy. The minute I start talking, I'm like in a better mood than I was an hour ago. And then especially if I come up with ideas, if we can have the conversation, if the conversation is taking you or me to another level, that really excites me. It gives me more energy, and I'm just very passionate about what I do. And I believe in relationships. Like you and I, we build the relationships. It took a while, but for me to convince you that I am a good investment. But when I built my own business, Adwork Marketing, I really built the foundation based on relationships. And I have not been in sales. I sold my company in 2019, but the business is still solid because it's built on the good foundation. Just like the house has the foundation, the business should have the foundation. You're doing the same way. That's why you
Absolutely.
have 75% referral. Your referral percentage of your listings is 75%. And what I like about your approach, you don't just work with Douglas Elliman. You do when you can. But you were at my lunch with Lucy once, and you were talking to someone from Florida, someone from California, and actually all three of you had CRM and had the database with colleagues and agents you trust from different brands?
Well, Lucy, I don't know if I mentioned to you, but last year, just because I have very good relationship with one of my very, very good agents in Florida, John Wilson, which I recommended
Wilson,
to
yes,
you,
I
right? John
interviewed
is an incredible, and his wife Lisa is awesome. So they're definitely a great team. I always go back to them to ask for any Florida's referrals because they know a lot of agents there. But what transpired in that is that I had a client here in New York who was going on vacation just to look at properties, maybe for rent. And I knew that they weren't a rent type of client. I knew that they should not be renting because, in my opinion, renting is waste of money. They definitely financially very established couple, doing good. And I just gave them an advice. I said, it doesn't cost you anything. Just go and have a conversation with John. I called John. I asked him to be there for them. He moved his schedule around. He met with them. They had a coffee. And the next morning he called. He said, Olga, some good news to tell you. They are buying. And I said, do you know the budget? He goes, no, we don't. And 48 hours later, he called me. He said, Olga, they will invest into some significant projects here in Florida. I can't get into details how much, but it's pretty significant number we are referring to. So me and John have closed on one deal at West Palm Beach, which is pretty significant number. And now we are working together on finishing up the completion of the project that's being built, where the client will be closing hopefully soon. But that just gives you a very clear understanding that I didn't call to push them. I just called to give them my opinion and advice. If you're open to it and you're smart, you will open your mind for the opportunities. And again, it's about being ready, willing, and able. They were ready, they were willing, and they were able, right? So when we work with clients, we don't convince people that are broke to buy real estate because we know it will take time for them to really get to that level. But people that are not financially established yet, I should say, definitely should still communicate with us. They should still get on the track to get an understanding how the process works. And I'm constantly speaking to my buyers and asking them, well, you know that I have this channel, which is educational channel that I've created by doing what we're doing right now, Lucy, right? It's all about teaching and educating people to understand the process. And then we're bringing on a lot of different guests just for picking their brain and really having them to understand what other services we can provide. I think it's the limitation of people understanding, realtors only do sell homes. That's not the case. We have hundreds and hundreds of different types of amazing relationships with architects, with developers, with designers, with stagers, with clean out crews. I mean, you name it, you can keep going on with contractors, with you want to clean up your property within, the same day. We have trucks with guys that will come in and clean it up, right there on the spot. We have dumpsters. You want pods. You want storages. You name it, we have it. If I would bring everybody back here in this room, we would not have enough space. But I think that what we do is we are all service providers that bring tremendous value to our clients, and we bring all possible service providers as a value to our clients. So this way they could understand that they're not in this alone. We got them. And we could guide them in different directions depending to what they need and want at this time. But we get them screened. If someone doesn't have the same passion to work by referral, or somebody who is working only by hit and run operation, then they have no space in my circle.
Right.
Every single one that's part of my family, my work family, I should call it, they're all sharing the same gifts. They are passionate about the quality customer service. They are passionate about quality of the general relationship that we build and have. And if someone is failing somewhere, we keep very close look on monitoring whomever we're referring, how their relationship turned out. And then we ask for referrals. And then we ask for comments on Google. Then we're asking for reviews on Google. So that's how we're building it step by step to the next level.
Again, it's a strategy. You have a strategy and you surround yourself by right people and you have a team. You cannot do everything alone. It's impossible. You cannot do it alone. Well, thank God you have a good family that is part of your team. You work with your husband. You work with your two sons. They admire you. They look up to you. They respect you. And that is something and they use you as a role model. They come to you for advice. And they're grown-up kids. They're not in middle school, but they still come to you for advice, and I think that is phenomenal. That is spectacular. Both of them help you with the business, with social media. Again, with what they know. They are very super smart kids, which you can't really call them kids anymore, but still, they will always be your kids.
Well, David, God bless him, he was working with Donna Reardon in my office when he was a teenager, still in college.
Oh.
And Donna got him a position as an intern in Douglas Elliman.
Mm-hmm.
So David, my oldest son, for years actually took the lead of helping Donna training agents from the beginning, from like the very beginning, from scratch, when they first would come into the office. He would train and teach agents how do you start and begin your business from ground zero. And he's so passionate about it. He worked then after a couple of years as an IT in corporate in 575 Madison in Manhattan. So David worked for Douglas Elliman in corporate IT department as an IT expert. And now he is transitioning a little bit. He is definitely looking for more opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
And God bless him. I'm going to always guide him and, be there for him. But he's a tremendous help. And he's definitely looking for newer opportunities now. Hopefully, we will narrow it down pretty shortly.
Mm-hmm.
But he plays 24/7 major role in a lot of my decisions, including doing this. He keeps coming back to me when I doubt myself. And he keeps says, "Ma, do not stop. Keep doing it." And sometimes when we go to listing appointments, I get so distracted speaking to one spouse versus another. And he looks at the behavior of the other person. He says, "Mom, did you know that they Googled you, right?" And I said, "Nah, impossible." He goes, "Ma, I was watching them Googling your name. And please understand that everything that you're doing right now, from your Google reviews to your podcast episodes to your YouTube channel, people are taking that in consideration and watching it." And Gabriel, my youngest son, who's 23 years old, as you know, he's worked for many years for Alex Montalenti with eRealty Media and Instacart. I mean, he's the master of it all. Right now, he is growing and sharpening his skills more and more, but he could criticize you up and down in 5 minutes.
I know, yeah, he works with me, and he criticizes me all the time. "Miss Lucy, you are not doing that right."
I know. I love to watch his passion towards helping agents and having business professionals to like really set them up on Google in a proper way. And I am from every angle possible always referring him. And I come home, he works from home, and thank God I have the space for him. But he's always home, and he is telling me, "Ma, you're not doing this right, and you're not doing this right." And I'm like, "Gabriel, I understand. Let me work on it. I'll perfect it, but I got you a referral." So that happens all day, every day. And the funny thing is the lights never go off up until we completely have to turn them off in the house. Like I would say at about midnight that we say goodbye to each other.
Wow.
And we say how much we love each other. And, it's an ongoing family growth. And I'm very honored to do what I do. In the beginning, a lot of people thought it was a joke. And I thought it was a joke myself. But now I truly enjoy what I do, and I'm truly passionate to really dedicate my time not only to sell real estate, but also find a talent. And that's what I really enjoy the most, when I reach out to people that have talent, but maybe they don't always know that they have the talent. And we help them discover that talent and see how they could come on board to really, really bring value to our audience. And that's a blessing.
Well, that brings me to the conversation that you and I had recently about brand new agent, and what would you recommend for a brand new agent, and what kind of path would you choose for them? What's your opinion? Because you had completely different approach than I did, but I think both of them are valid. So if you combine them, then you really get an agent that is going to be successful.
Then have an empire, right?
Right.
Yeah. Well, I believe in two-way street. I believe that life is about two-way street. And even if I would give you all the diamonds and gold in the world and put it to you in a platter and say, here, enjoy it, use it, have it. If you didn't create it yourself, you wouldn't know how to leverage it. Right? So I think what is important to, number one, I always look at agents' desire to succeed. When I interview new agents, I always ask them, why do you choose our brand? Why do you want to be part of our team? What makes you passionate about the future? What makes you passionate about real estate? What makes you excited about building relationships with people? And I watch how they answer. And if I see that they're not going in the same pattern and direction that they should, then we need to dive in a little bit into that to see if we could work around their weakness. Because my belief is that you don't work so much on your strength, you work more on your weakness. Because your strengths are already gifted by God, universe, whatever you want to call it, higher power. But if we work on our weakness, right, then we could become a master on a higher level. So that's what I teach new agents. When you join our team, when you join Douglas Elliman, please understand, it's not a joke. You're signing up for some very significant commitment. It's a commitment to serve the public. People think it's a joke. It's not. To serve the public, you need to really wake up each and every day and dedicate your heart and your soul that it's not about you. It's about serving the public. So that means that you need to constantly work on yourself, developing your weak spot into becoming better. If you are not good in communicating, then work on it. You don't like to make the phone calls, work on it. You want to hire the coaches, you want to hire the trainings, but you don't need to do any of this when you first come into our team. We provide all of this. Douglas Elliman has a lot of classes that people should participate and be part of. And then we're going backwards into a CRM. Who is on your phone? Take your phone. Start from your friends. Start by telling people that that's what you do. And it really comes all back from the passion of how are you selling yourself. We are in a service business.
Exactly.
We're not selling. We are servicing the public. And when people will get it and when people will understand it with their heart, then when the whole dynamic changes. I really have to tell you, Lucy, I don't like the word salespeople. I really don't. Because we're not salespeople.
Yeah.
We really, the guiding force and navigators to help people to get from where they are to where they're dreaming to be. And when agents get that, by implementing so many different important factors into their business and life, that's when the whole transition changes. They start building their database, they start doing trainings, they start being active, participating in all activities, they start dressing properly. Because remember, the day could start without you thinking where you're going to end up. And that's what I love the most about this business, is that you really never know what your day is going to turn around and be. And that's the blood rush that I love.
Well, I would add to what you just said about the new agent. In my opinion, I think it's very important to focus. You have to focus, you have to have a schedule, you have to stick to that schedule. If you decide that every morning from 9 to 10 you have cold calls and you are not comfortable with it, but like you said, overcome, work on it, but stick to the schedule. And there is no job in the world that you would enjoy every single second of it. Sometimes it's the job that you have, just like filing. I mean, no one is filing now, but now you have to work on your CRM and build your database and input all the names. It's boring, but you have to do that because you cannot live without CRM. You cannot live without database. But stay on the schedule, build your CRM. I totally agree with you. And I think really invest your soul into it. Be a full-time realtor. A lot of people are not able financially to become a full-time realtor, but become one as soon as you can and invest your passion in it. If you feel that you are not people's person and you are not able to build those relationships, then it's okay. Just just walk away. Maybe it's just not for you.
Not for you.
And it's okay to admit it's not for you. Real estate professional is not for everybody. You have to really invest your energy, your soul, your heart. You have to step over your pride. You have to be in a good mood. You have to be positive. There are so many you have to that if it's not for you, it's okay.
Lucy, I think we should record another episode. Why you should not join real estate. I think we'll have more followers that way.
No, because just like anything else, not everyone is born to be an engineer or to be a pilot,
Doctor.
Or a doctor or a lawyer or an accountant. It's okay because that is something that you have to feel. And you can become an accountant. You can learn how to do the spreadsheets and such, but you cannot learn how to love and invest your passion.
People's person.
And be
people's person.
You cannot.
And this is what I think makes you unique and successful, Lucy. I think that you are so passionate about what you do, and see you travel all over right now the country. It's like, wow. Every single time I go on Facebook and I'm like, Lucy is in Cincinnati. Lucy is in Florida. Lucy is in Boston. Lucy is in Miami. I'm like, holy moly. She needs her own helicopter soon. Like I was watching Tony Robbins this weekend, and he did indeed say, to cut the traffic, you need to own a helicopter. So maybe one day I would not be surprised if you became a helicopter pilot.
I would love to try that. Yeah.
Well, Lucy, I have to honestly tell you, we covered so many different important topics, and I think we're coming to a very end of our beautiful conversation. I cannot really begin to tell you how much I enjoyed every moment of it, and I'm looking forward to many more. Cheers.
Well, cheers. And we always have fun together. It's not a job for us. It's a passionate, friendly time together where we trust each other and we enjoy being together. So thank you for
Lucy.
inviting me.
Thank you, Lucy.
Cheers, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. There is so many more great videos coming your way, and I'm so grateful to have you in my life, and especially all my spiritual friends. Thank you. I love you all.